While a formal transition plan is not required for students under the age of 13, it is best practice to include a transition statement in every IEP, beginning with the very first IEP. For young children, this may just be a statement in the plot that describes some of the student's interests, preferences, or even some of their goals for their future. Basically, you can have the student answer the question, what is one thing you might like to do when you grow up? Or what would you like to be when you grow up? If students have limited communication, some of these statements may be what the parents have observed or what the teachers have observed requiring that student's interest or preferences. For example, you may say that the student enjoys being outside, or that that student likes to work with their hands, that they prefer to work in a group. Anything that you can include in that IEP to help start looking at what that student might want to do in the future. And this process will help the student and the parents begin thinking about our end goal, and that is to help that student become as independent as possible. So beginning this process at a very young age and including the student in that process to the extent possible is a great way to help them to prepare for their future transition planning. If your student is under the age of 13, then you will skip the formal transition plan and move right to the goals. Annual goals must be objective and measurable. Remember that you'll be reporting progress on those goals each time a report card goes out, and you must show that you can measure them objectively. There should be a goal to address each of the needs that are identified in the plot. Remember, we discussed earlier that your plot should match your goals, which should match your accommodations and your services. If you've identified a need in the plot, then there should be a goal to address that need. Goals should be meaningful in that they should help or support the student's progress in the curriculum or their quality of life or independent living. Goals should be attainable within the length of the IEP. Remember that this is a legal contract where you are identifying what's going to be taught and when those skills should be mastered. If you see that it's not likely that a student will master a skill within the life of the IEP, it is important to meet with that IEP team again and do an addendum to the IEP where you can adjust that goal to something that is more realistic for the student.